Everyone. Here we are. It is cracking up. We are cracking up. Are we cracking up? We've just been cracking up. Anyway, welcome to our cracking up show. We've got the two Ks and me in the middle. So we've got KW and K Frosty. Can you put your hands up as I say KW? Where are you? Yeah, there you go. And K Frosty. I'm going to call you Frosty
Hi.
now. And we, this is just a show that we just talk about whatever we want to talk about. We're just interested in us. And if you want to join in with us, you're very welcome. But if we bore you, well, too bad, really, because it's that kind of a show where we're just indulging our own selves and getting together. Both K's are in England, and I'm in Florida, the USA. So let me think. Now, we usually have a theme. And I'll let you know what that is as soon as it comes to me in a minute. But you will be able to ask questions. There will be a chat room. We've got Chris in there. Say hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris. Oh, I'm sorry. Hello, everyone.
And of course, we've got Grey Eagle, who is always here with us and enjoying our cracking up show today. And I'm really not sure quite where to look. So, Chris, I'm sure you'll tell me if I'm not looking in the right place. Because this is weird. When you so want to look at your own face when you're talking, or you want to look at the people who are with you on the show when they're talking. But apparently the camera wants you to look in a completely other place. So, Chris, am I looking in the right place now?
If you went just a tad left, that would be better.
Oh, is that better then?
Yes.
All right, then. I'll try looking in the very top left corner there, and but I'm sure I'm going to move my head about and not get it right, but that doesn't matter. So let's see. What shall we begin talking about today? Now, just because we're going to begin talking about it doesn't mean that that's going to be the only topic that we talk about today. But let's start off with a video that actually was sent to me by Chris, and it's there's a man taking what is he doing? He's interviewing on camera. He's interviewing another guy, and he's the subject of this guy's parents come up. So the interviewer says to him, "So, how old are your parents?" And he says, "Oh, they're sort of late 60s, early 70s." And then the interviewer says, "So, where do they live?" And he tells them where they live. "Well, how often do you see them?" "Well, we probably go down, twice a year to see them." So the interviewer then says, "Well, if we take an average lifespan, and your parents, let's say, have only another 5 years to live, that means that you're only going to see them for the rest of your life and their lifespan. It means you're going to see them only 10 times a year." And the guy looked at the interviewer, and all of a sudden the light bulb went on. Time passes. We don't even realize it. We don't even think about it. And then I watched another video also sent me by Chris. And many of you will have seen this video on YouTube. And it's about an old man who lives, I'm guessing Italy or Sicily or somewhere like that. And all of his family are scattered all over the globe. And each Christmas, they say they're going to come to visit, and each Christmas they don't, and the Christmases go past, and the old guy's getting older and older by the minute. And then one day, the family are notified that the old man has died. All of a sudden, the family all get together, and they make the trip together as a family. It's Christmas time. They make a big trip together. And go over to now they're going to the funeral of the old man. And when they walk into the family home, they notice that the table is set absolutely amazingly. Glasses, crystal, you name it, lovely porcelain, the whole thing is all set out. They're looking at each other and they can't figure out what's going on. And then as they walk further into the house, the father, the old man, steps out from the kitchen. And they're all completely shocked. He's not dead after all. And his remark to them was, how else could I get all of the family together?
Oh, how great.
Well, you see, okay, that would be my feeling, but so many people are writing and saying it's fantastic, it's amazing, it's wonderful, and actually it turned out that it was. I think it was an advertisement from some, anyway, it doesn't matter where from, but but you're getting other people who are absolutely appalled by the fact that the old man should pretend to be dead in order to get his family together. So I thought, with no further ado, obviously, KW, you just said how great, so we know what your feelings are. Okay, Frosty, what are your feelings?
Well, I think it's great that they're all together, but it must have been a shock for them and a shock for him. Depends what their reaction was, really. I mean, it's sad, actually. It's very sad that he has to do that.
I think so,
You know.
too. And I was reading some of the comments, and some of the comments from people are they're appalled. They thought it was, I'm trying to think, Chris, I don't know if you can remember the word that somebody used to con their family into turning up. They were appalled that that would happen. But all I could think of was, if you have to go to those extremes, then you're pretty desperate and very sad, that that's a very sad thing, that the old man really, really thought that the only way that he could get to see his kids before he died, because he's pretty close to it, because he's getting older and older every year. And every year for the last several years, he's spent all of these Christmases by himself. And the family have been too busy, or they've got other plans, or what have you. And I thought we'd talk about that a little bit. And I thought we'd talk about how it's so easy for our children to simply not understand that we're getting older. It's so easy for them to think we're going to be here forever. I know my daughter thinks I'm going to be here forever. She just will not accept. She will not accept the fact that one day on this earth I will be here. So let's hear the opinions of you guys. What do you think about that? What about your own families? What about families of people that you know?
I think families have changed because more generations lived together at one time, but now it's less. At certain countries, obviously, it still exists and it's a big thing, and culturally, and I think it's sad that we've lost this here, and that you sometimes have to make. But then you have to make sort of. Like that man did, situations in order to get people together. But then the thing is, when you get people together, if they resent that, then you haven't achieved what you wanted in the first place either, because that can happen.
Yeah.
It's sad, very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Kay?
I'm aware as I'm getting older that things shift and change, and when all the girls were younger, it was always down to me, really, and other people in my family to arrange things and get things moving. And really now, because of lots of reasons, but age and situations change and they grow up. People grow up and have their own families, and they do what they should do, which is take the onus off me and my sister and my brother and all the rest of the older generation, and they developed their own circuits, really, their own social areas. And when I think back over the last 6 months, we've seen a lot of each other, and it's not down to me, it's down to everybody, and they mesh together and get it sorted. And
Do you think that with COVID, people have become more aware of the need to be more social with their families or get together with their families?
Yeah.
Or do you think that had
yeah,
any effect at all?
I think people don't take it for granted quite as much. I think people are more aware of mortality, basically, aren't they? They're not
Yeah.
taking so much for granted. And I maybe Kay, you're the same. And we don't have the distances here. We're only 3 hours from anyone, really.
Yeah.
In the UK, it's easy.
It's
not
easy
like,
to get to see people.
yes. There's no excuse to be lazy, really, here. You can always hop on
But
a
it
train.
happens. It happens.
Yeah, it does happen.
It happens.
Yeah.
I mean, you see people, you know that the people have relatives who are close by and they
Yes.
don't see them
Yes.
for whatever reason. And there could be valid and good reasons. You know, it's not all just one way.
Well, let's face
difficult.
it. There are certain members of the family that people might actually never ever want to see again.
Yeah.
Deliberate avoidance as well. I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
You see, you can choose your friends. You don't choose your family, do you?
right. Exactly. And I think that, you know, families, or I don't think there's a family that I've ever met that doesn't have some issue going on within the family. Sometimes it's only small things, little things that people get over, but that, you know, the families can be wonderful, but they can also be dreadful. I have to say that when people say to me, I have to say, when people say to me, "You're like family to us," no, I don't want to be, because my family experience, I mean, with my own family, with my own daughter and grandson, yes, we have a great family. But my experience of family, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, grandparents, all of that stuff, my experience is I really don't want to be a part of that. Don't.
No.
And when somebody says to me, "You're just like family to me," I think I'd really rather
But
not.
you wouldn't be, would you? Because it wouldn't be what you had.
No.
And you wouldn't ever let that happen. So
I mean, with Samantha and I, with my daughter and I just and I know it's the same with you guys. There are friendships that develop much more. So you get older and they get older. There are there are so many. It's much more about friendship, rather than being the parent.
that's right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I do remember many years ago, as the parent, I went to an Easter ball, going back a long time now, and I had a blast, had a great time, and my daughter was at my house with her boyfriend. He was staying overnight with her, and I'd gone off to do my thing. So when I came home, I remember driving down the road. I can still remember this quite clearly, driving down the road and watching the sunset as it rose up in the sky, right? So beautiful. So I'm wearing this enormous ball gown, the old, all fancy and all the rest of it. So I'm wearing this enormous ball gown and I'm all fancied up, and I get into the house. I tiptoe in. I open the door really quietly. I tiptoe in because I don't want to wake anybody up. So I'm tiptoeing in, but my skirt is insisting on making a lot of noise, rustling and all the rest of it. But still, I'm tiptoeing in, and I come through into the hall, and I get to the bottom of the stairs, and I'm tiptoe out, my shoes in my hand, tiptoeing quietly up the stairs. I get halfway up the stairs, and I hear this voice. Yes, not that voice, but
Yeah.
and there, and I look up, and I hear this voice say to, and what time do you call this? And I look up, and there's my daughter and her boyfriend. She's got her arms folded. What time do you call this, mother? It was like total role reversal.
Yeah.
She was just having fun. She wasn't being serious or anything, but she it was like, talk about role reversal. It was a bit
That's
scary.
nice.
Yeah, it was funny. It was funny. Yeah.
Mm.
But I know you girls, you've got friendships with your kids too, right? More than being the mother, you do have those close friendships as well, don't you think?
Yes. Yeah.
Definitely, yes, we do. Yeah.
You have the arguments that go with those friendships too.
You do. Yeah.
All the
No.
quiet times.
I'm trying to think now, thinking back, because I know there are people watching who perhaps have never seen this before. So just FYI to everybody who's never seen this before, how many years do we all go back in our friendships?
82.
So that's 20 years.
88.
So whatever that is. Actually,
Yeah.
no, it's not 20 years. It's 40.
40?
It's 40 years.
40.
So it's
Whatever.
about 30, isn't it?
Yeah, 30 something, 30,
Yeah.
whatever. Anyway.
Nearly 40 years.
Yeah. So we will go back a long way. So I'm going to ask you both, and I'm laughing about this. Have we ever argued?
Oh, never. You go, Kay. I'm not speaking.
Not really. Not really.
Oh.
I don't think we have had a real argument. Not, have we?
No, I don't think so.
Well, that's because you're a nice water sign.
Yeah.
Well,
You're a nice earth sign.
yes, because this is where soul signs comes in. Absolutely, because I'm a earth sign and Kay, you're a water sign. And so, we really are very compatible. And usually if there are, because we have had disagreements, we have had times when I did something you might not have liked, or you did something that I might not have liked, or whatever. There've been those times, I'm sure they have. But
Never resulted in a big argument, though, has it?
No, because
That's
we've
the thing.
always had that sort of the ebb and flow.
I've never had an air sign to help me.
Pardon?
I've never had an air sign to help me.
Aww. But let's get back to the arguments. But with Kay, Kay, you're a fire sign.
Yes.
And I'm an earth sign. And it can be explosive, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it has been at times. Tempered with lots of other things. And as you say, often it's about respect and respecting each other, and acceptance of each other. But when the soul signs came along, it was illuminating to me. It helped me so much understand myself and what was happening with me and everybody around me. And I'm thinking that things sort of calmed down a bit after that, really.
Well, I think you become more mature as well, don't you?
Yes, that did have a lot to do with it.
With Frosty in the corner there, earth and water feeds earth.
Yeah.
And earth gives water a place to be and a place to flow. So we're extremely compatible in that way. Whereas, Kay, you're a fire sign, and the analogy here is that fire scorches the earth,
But that's all.
but earth can literally dump on fire,
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
the air out of everything and
Yeah.
put fire out.
I've been dumped on so many times.
By me.
And probably deserved every bit of it. But
Well,
yeah,
you're a fire sign, so fire signs are spontaneous
yeah,
and can really scorch.
and and can be. Oh, yeah, I'm so actually so pleased that I am now 66 and feel calmer and more able to deal with my fire. It does make a difference.
But fire also warms. It's not, fire isn't.
I know. I'm
Fire
being
isn't a bad
ridiculous.
thing. It's
No,
just
of course
a thing
not.
for Earth.
Yes,
And
continually,
pardon?
continually.
Yeah. I mean, when you think fire can, if you look at Kay, when you think that fire can heat up water to the point of boiling, so the two of you, if you spent too much time together, the fire could really
Bubble, bubble,
boil up the
bubble.
water.
Yeah.
But when the water gets too hot, forget this. Let's put that
Yeah.
fire out, which is
Yes. It's like I talk to Jessica and say, Jessica, my youngest, is fire as a water sign, and I joke to her and say, all you've got to do is lift an eyebrow, and I'm quenched. She lifts
Yeah.
an eyebrow. She lifts one eyebrow at me and looks at me imperiously, and I'm dead in the water, literally.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
quite funny.
Yeah, but so sort of all of these dynamics make a a huge difference. I'm going to switch topics a little bit because I know that this show is called Cracking Up, and that's what we do. But for anyone watching, let me explain. We're all British. We have a British sense of humor. I would like both of you, and then I'll have a go at this as well. I'd like you both to describe, if you can, what a British sense of humor is.
Oh gosh.
Oh, lovely. I like that one.
But go on, then you go first then.
Oh, understated. I wouldn't say sarcastic because it's cleverer than sarcasm. Sarcasm is mean. I don't think there's a meanness there, but it's subtle, it's surreal, and it's not always real. It's not based in reality. There's a lot of abstraction in humour with the British, and it's very, very, very self-depreciating, and that's the funniest.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
And, yeah, Kay, go ahead. How could you describe it?
I don't know. I think Kay said pretty much a good description of it, really. It's quite quick, quirky. Yeah.
I think a lot of people.
I don't like slapstick. To me, that's not. I don't like that kind of humor.
When you say slapstick, you mean throwing pies in people's faces?
Yeah, that's well. Can you remember Brian Ricks?
Yeah.
No, I didn't like him.
And although he was British, he did this slapstick humor, and sometimes it's too silly to laugh at.
Yeah.
I think humor has to be clever as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that people perceive humor in the Brits as being sarcastic. But as you said, Kay, I don't think it's sarcasm because although it does sound as if we're being sarcastic, and we also sound, when we get together, we sound as if we're being really critical of each other, pull each other down, insult each other tremendously. And I think that people who are not British have difficulty especially when we start insulting each other. They have real difficulty trying to figure out why the other person isn't taking offense. But I feel that the big part of British humor is that we, you know, that we do insult each other. We find great pleasure in insulting each other. We find great pleasure in one-upmanship. So, you know, if you say something that sounds to other people, if you say something to me that is mean or sarcastic, I'll come right back at you and say something that's even more, and so on and so forth. And but we find that funny. And I think that, and weirdly, I think people who are not British will not understand when I say that the Brits, if a Brit insults you, it means they like you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know,
Because they feel easy enough in your company to be able to say something derogatory without actually meaning it to be derogatory.
Right, exactly. So
Would you like any comments from the chat room?
Oh yeah, let's have some. Go ahead.
So Maggie thinks British humor is dry, wry, and subtle.
That's good.
I wouldn't say we're subtle necessarily.
Oh, we can be.
I think we can be.
We can be, but we can also be downright in your face. Don't you think?
Like Graham Norton, you mean?
Yeah, he is funny. He's very funny.
Yeah.
Carry on. Sorry, Chris.
Oh, that was the only one in this part of the conversation that someone wrote in.
Oh,
I like that dry. I like that dry wit. Yeah.
I might say simple.
yeah. Well,
Is that
we
was
could
that
start. We really
insult?
start insulting you now, Chris. Let's all
And
look
Maggie is saying cheeky.
Yes, you know, when I use the word cheeky here in the States, most people do not know what I mean when I say that we're cheeky. I try to explain it as being impish, or, you know, sort of, I don't know. But
what is the understanding there then?
Poking fun, is it?
What, of cheeky? It's not a word people here in this country use. Not that I've ever heard they use it.
Mischievous.
Yeah, mischievous is quite
Yeah.
But an innocent.
Yes.
Mischievous, not a sinister.
But if you get a kid who is what we would call cheeky, people might, not understanding the humor, they might think that the kid is being maybe rude or a bit insulting or pushing it a bit, whereas we just see it as just fun. You know, the kid is being, you know, full of fun. But
it depends on the child. I think it depends on the child sometimes.
It does depend.
See, and that's what I meant by simple. You're just, it's, you know, uncomplicated. It's easily understood.
No, it's not understood by people who are not Brits. In
I
fact,
think as an American, I would disagree.
well, okay then. I think we should start insulting Chris. What do you think? I think she should be part of the group very happily.
Judith is saying she would have said dry as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would have said witty and intelligent. And just
You would have said that.
Are you going to say it differently?
No, I love that. I just wish I was. I always think of something afterwards that I could have said that was really witty, dry, and intelligent. But I never remember what I need to say when it's needed.
Oh, I don't know. I think I disagree with that. But I do think that I would say British humor is sharp.
Yes.
Because we do have the comebacks, don't we?
Yes.
You
We
know,
can do if we're functioning well.
And we can be very cutting. But and if you're not British, you might be offended. But if you're British, you applaud because it's such a clever, witty thing to say. It's such a sharp thing to say.
Yes,
We
yes,
appreciate that kind of humour, don't you think?
yes, yes.
I think it's becoming a bit more difficult now because of political correctness. Humour's suffering. I mean, I know a lot of comedians say it's becoming very difficult to do it without offending people.
Yeah.
No, because
Yeah.
you've got a lot of people who are quick.
We're losing the sound, Kay, a little bit. I don't know what you did with your camera.
Her
Can you
internet
get it back,
is
Chris?
her internet has gone. No, she'll have
dear.
to do that on her own.
Okay.
She's sorting it out.
Kay, can you hear us? No. Well, we'll just.
Oh
Talking.
dear.
We can't hear you. So
Do you want me to try and get hold of her? No.
can you phone her from? Can you
Yeah.
use your phone? Yeah. Yeah. But well, it's good to see another side of you, Kay. Can you hear us? Nod.
Yes.
Can you turn your mic on then, please? Can you go at the top of there, turn the mic on because we've lost your mic. We can't hear what you're saying. We can see your mouth moving. You're a bit like if you were to sit on Kay's knee now, Kay could actually talk
Don't
for you.
be
You're
doing
like a
that.
ventriloquist.
Don't be doing that.
Kay, can you get your sound back? You know what I think that would be a good plan? Can you hear me? Nod if you can hear me. You need to have a come out and come back in. So to get out of it.
Can you hear this, Kay? Come out and come back in. Come out of it and come back in. Yeah. There you go.
Okay. I can still see her, but
It'll
I
take a
don't know
while.
why. Is there any way you can take her out, Chris?
I don't know why that's happened to you.
I think it's got to do with sometimes it has something to do with the internet. There she's gone. Okay. All right.
Hello.
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 How are you?
Oh, it's all right.
Ages.
I know.
How have you been?
I've been fine. I've been really good. I've been doing my ironing today. I've been with my grandchildren today. How have you been?
Let me see. What have I done? I've been working all day.
Oh,
really working.
I should feel ashamed, but I don't.
No, don't. What have I done today? We did the show this morning. I've been doing some videos.
Yeah, Chris told me about those.
Yeah. So we've got some great workshops, or what do they call them? Every time different people call them different things, but we've got some great workshops coming up. So
Students.
no, not really.
Oh,
No.
workshops.
K Frost or K Frost?
Hello, K Frost.
Hi, I've gone on and left, and then I've rejoined, and it's still the same.
Well, come out and then rejoin again.
I've done it twice. I'm joining again, but I'm still.
Well, stay online. Oh, here she is.
Take your phone off. Switch your phone off, darling.
We're switching phones off. There you go.
Right, say something. I can't hear you. Your microphone is off. Your microphone is off. You know
Rosemary,
what?
I think you need to log off and on because we can't hear your voice either.
Let's all come out. So we all come cut and come back in.
Yes.
That's what we'll do. We'll be back.
And Kay, Frosty, your picture is sideways. Is there any way you can change it?
Okay.
We're having all kinds of issues here.
Somebody's playing silly bees with us. Oh,
So it's just you and me, Kay.
so how do I get out of it, Chris?
No, you're good. We'll wait for the other two to come back.
Oh,
They'll
phew,
log
I'm
right
glad
back
I
in.
can sit here and do nothing. Okay, still upside down.
We still can't hear you, Kay. So I don't know what are we going to do, Chris? What should we be doing here?
I'm not sure. So the internet connection is there.
So doesn't she have I've got at the bottom of my screen a nice little blue microphone symbol. Does she not have the same?
Well, click on it then.
She
Oh,
did.
she did. Okay. Well, oh, fiddlesticks. Do we, Kay, come out and come back, try and come back in again, and again. Come out and come back in.
This is why it's the Cracking Up show, because you just never know what's going to happen.
It's so true. And in the meantime, I was going to say something then, but you took the idea. If we can't get Kay back properly, I think we should, do this another time. Are there any? For some reason, no, we can't hear you still. So, are there any comments or questions in the chat room, Chris?
Maggie's saying I love Kay's giggle, but unfortunately the whole chat room disappeared, so everything that people wrote left with Kay Frosty. So
Oh, okay. Well, then I think what we're going to do is, because it isn't cracking up unless all three of us are here, so we're going to say good night and thank you to everybody for watching, and we shall let you know. We'll try and do this again in a couple of days if we possibly can, and have another cracking up once we've sorted out the internet and once we've sorted out everything that we need to do. I would love to say to Kay Frost, wherever you are, I don't know if you can hear me. I'd love to say, do you have anything to say to us? Can you type it into the chat room, perhaps? Kay, is there anything that
She
you'd
doesn't
like?
know how.
Oh,
she does. She does.
You'd like to say?
It's been a blast.
All right, we shall get back together with both of you in a few minutes in another way. I will FaceTime or something.
Yes.
But in the meantime, thank you everyone for joining us. I'm sorry it was a bust, but it was a blast as
It
well.
was blast.
So thank you all for joining us. I will let you know when we can do this again within the next couple of days. All right, my lovelies, thank you very much. And please, everybody, have a very blessed rest of the night. Thanks to both Kays. Thanks to Chris. Thanks, of course, to Grey Eagle. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.